Welcome everyone. Race 2 of the Twiggy iRacing Series season. And we're in old Atlanta, bumpy and weathered in. Definitely not the super speedway that we have become accustomed to over the last couple years. More of a driver's track this weekend as we get ready to go. 1.54 miles a lap around here in Atlanta. Race 2 of 36 in the season. 250 miles, 162 laps here tonight. Just south of metropolitan Atlanta area. I'm Carmen Hardy. Thank you all for tuning in on a wonderful Friday evening. Over 30 cars set to take part in this event. 37 cars to be on track tonight. Drivers are excited. The community here, both on Twiggy and ABN, are excited. We hope you're excited as well as we get ready for racing here. Drivers' meeting was underway there during our intermission as we got on the air. Obviously, a lot of drivers, some new faces coming into this series. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of cars on track here to wrap up the practice session. Fastest on the board right now, Brady Weileman. Chris Howell, the fastest on track at the moment, and then we're 88. As he rolls around on track. As we get ready to go here. About a minute and 40 left. 37 drivers in this field. A lot of rookies, a couple debutantes. Walk through those as we get in closer to the race. You see a few names just in that top 20. In 2022 ABN National Champion Christina Ryan, sitting 19th fastest at the moment ahead of Jacob Elkins, the reigning series champion here in Twiggy. Caitlin Height in the 90. Also making her debut, sitting 11th behind Callie Bajent. It's Brady Weileman and Merrick Watchorn atop the board. Obviously, Chris Howell, the Matt Dyer top 4. "37 cars. We had 31 last week at Daytona. So a lot of people super excited about the race here tonight. All eyes a week ago were on James Wurtsema. Wurtsema sitting in pit lane. But a race winner here in this series, winning the season opener in his second career start. Practice is over. And now we will jump into qualifying. Wurtsema will be one of the first ones to get on track here. Everyone's got less than 5 minutes here to get qualifying laps underway. 2 laps count. I have a feeling that the second lap's going to be pretty important here. So you watch Wurtsema go around here. As we wait for the first cars to jump on the board here. First car on the board, Merrick Watchorn. Patrick Hernandez second, so it's a Watchorn Motorsports 1-2 at the moment. Weileman trying to interrupt that for Summit Esports. Phillips, Bajent, Ledger. As the field begins to shuffle, Wurtsema goes 5th fastest on that second lap. Gets bumped down by Howell. But a good run by Wurtsema in the number 4. Bajent, Wurtsema's teammate there for JW Motorsports, sitting in the top 10 as well, sitting P9. As we now look here, Anthony Reiner in the number 80. More cars beginning to run laps here. Josh Berry goes 11th fastest. Weileman shuffled down to 5th. Howell goes 3rd fastest, so it's Toyota row 1, Chevrolet row 2. Does Reiner have anything to say about it? Reiner only 22nd fastest, lap 1. Lap 2 has been the most important lap. Christina Ryan electing to start from the rear of the field. I have a feeling that several drivers will do that here. Mike Allen goes 17th fastest. Reiner could only make it to 25th, could not improve. We'll look down. Jaden Porter, not a good lap 1 on the apron. Looks like he's coming out of pit lane here, so he's already abandoned his first lap. He's only get 1 lap at it. That severely handicaps his chance of breaking into the top half of this field in qualifying. Obviously, 162 lap race, a lot of time to get it all figured out. But you want to be clear of trouble. Matt Dyer goes in 6th. So he'll line up road 3 provisionally with a couple drivers left on the board. 3 of the debutantes. Starting from the back of the field, Judith Cooper in the 400 machine. Caitlin Height in the 90. Christina Ryan in the 199. They'll join the back of the field as well as the 18 of Brennan Gregg. Jaden Porter went P8 in car number 8. Moved ahead of Wurtsema there in the 8th position. In the top 10, will sit in row number 4. But here we go. And immediately from qualifying into the race we go. It's Merrick Watchorn, Patrick Hernandez, front row for Watchorn Motorsports. This is the same way the Clash of the Titans took place at Southern National. They're going to try to do it again here in Atlanta. Chris Howell, Alec Daffin in row 2. John Ledger, Matthew Dyer in row number 3. Then it's Brady Weileman and Jaden Porter in row number 4. Last week's winner, James Wurtsema, in row 5 on the inside of Jarrett Phillips. John Bawalda Jr. will be alongside Chris Phillips in row number 6. A lot on this grid tonight. Kelly Bajent and Doug Betts, row 7. Josh Berry and Dennis Crosby in row number 8. Maurice Gamillion and Kyle Smith will sit in row 9, and row 10 will be composed of Mike Allen and Doug Tuttle. Chris Gore and Thomas Lane Jr. will be in row number 11. Brad Slagle and Casey Duncan will be in row 12. And looking down at the rest of this 37-car field, Jacob Elkins, Logan McNeil, in row number 13. Row 14, Anthony Reiner and Dale Rapp in row number 14. Jack Stanley, Charlie Birch in row 15. Behind them, Josh Jernigan and James Lovejoy making up row 16. Row 17, that's where you find the national champion for ABN in 2022. On the outside of Chris Van Maastricht is Christina Ryan, Caitlin Height, and Bernie Gregg, row 18. And on our lonesome in row number 17, or row number 18, excuse me, is Judith Cooper. Again, this is what the starting grid looks like. This is what they're racing at. Old Atlanta. Bumpy, weathered in, abrasive, a driver's track, 1.54 miles per lap here, 162 laps. It's a little bit of an endurance. Lights at the top of the screen indicate when the green flag comes out. At the front of the field, it's Watch Rooney Motorsports, number 91 and 19. Everyone begins to get settled in. Slow pace lap here. It's an excruciating pace lap. These tires wear very quickly. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing these cars drive around a little bit. Pace cars in pit lane. To the restart zone they go. And the Hampton 250 is underway. Immediately a good start by the 91 of Watchorn as they go through turns 1 and 2 for the first time under green. This is where the championship was determined last year. We complete lap 1. Some drivers were not so sure that would be the case, but that is the case. Watchorn staying up top. Car in the wall. That is Jarrett Phillips in the 87, falling backwards. Everyone doing a good job avoiding that number 87, allowing him to come back off the wall and keep going. Outside lane. It's faster for a little bit. But as you can see, that 87 already loose, already in trouble as Jacob Elkins splits the middle 3 wide between the 87 of Phillips and the 052 of Brad Slagle. Opening laps out of the way. It's Watchorn leading the way. It's a battle for second place between Matt Dyer and Alec Daffin. Daffin moves up to second. Tire life will matter. 3-hour time limit for this race. We shouldn't need it. Slight tag of the wall there by somebody. 3 wide. That's a little bit further on back. Looks like John Bawada Jr. tagged the wall just a smidge. And the 8 of Jaden Porter had to back out of it to avoid a 3 wide situation. Bawada struggling a little bit. Drivers are going to struggle a lot here. First time we've had the entire field together for the start of a race like this. And a lot of rookies here. Car in front, Josh Berry in the 17. He's tagged the wall twice now. A slight little scrapes, but you can't keep getting away with those as this race goes on. A lot of drivers gravitating towards the middle of the road here. The higher up you go, the bumpier it is, the more abrasive and the worse it's going to be on your tires. But that seems to be where most of the field wants to sit at the moment as we begin lap 6 of 162. A couple drivers get it. Looks like that is the 6 of Chris Phillips that was running the bottom there. Getting ahead of Wurtsema in the 4. Wurtsema up a spot, started 9th, up to 8th. Doing a good job in that number 4 Chevrolet. Keep an eye on Callie Bajan in the 41. Didn't have a good race at Daytona, despite moving through the field on multiple occasions. Now that it's more in the driver's hands, less on luck. Bajan sitting pretty firmly in that top 10 as drivers figure themselves out in the early going. Oh, Callie Bajan in the wall. Everyone avoiding. Commentator's curse right there. Bajan. Not sure if there was any help getting to the wall or if it was just getting loose up there. But Bajan, good recovery. Everyone doing, again, a phenomenal job avoiding a car bouncing off the wall. These cars like to bounce a lot. For those wondering about Christina Ryan, the 2022 national champion, she's 26th. Making her way up. As we look at this mid-pack battle at the front of the field, Watchorn, Clean Air. Clean Air is key here in the early going, but there's a 5-car breakaway. It's Watchorn, Daffin, Howell, Dyer, and Ledger top 5. And then a 1.3 second gap to Patrick Hernandez. Hernandez in a little bit of an island before you get to James Wurtsema, Chris Phillips, Josh Berry, Mike Allen, John Buwalda Jr. just outside the top 10 at the moment. So far, it's been a phenomenal race. Forecast for this race, based off the season finale in 2022, were grim, but we've had a phenomenal start to this event. 37 cars, talked about it being a driver's track, and that's been the case. Then there's first caution, and that's, looks like the 86 of Doug Tuttle's got some damage. Jaden Porter was off the track. So first caution on lap 11. Caution's out for the first time tonight. We're gonna see what happened. Looks like it starts with maybe Mike Allen and Chris Phillips. We'll take a look here. Ooh, this starts right on the exit of turn 4. We'll take a look at it here. That is the. We'll double check here. Browse on up. This is. Trying to see who this is that we're looking at. This is out of 4. Looks like it might be the 17 of Josh Berry. Yeah, it is 17 of Josh Berry. A little bit slow. The 6. Oh, 6 tries to force the 3 wide. You pinch, you pay. It was Chris Phillips that went for a ride. Doug Tuttle got a little bit of contact out of that. And this is Chris Phillips' onboard perspective. And it gets ugly. Look at Jacob Elkins here on his perspective. Elkins got away with it here for the most part. Seems like it started right behind him. You see a little bit of damage there on that right front. But this seems to be pretty well after the accident. Obviously, it looks like we pick up Casey Duncan a little bit late there. So Seattle, Washington, not a great start to this race. Front of the field, still Merrick Watchorn and Alec Daffin. Most of the field did not pit under this caution. Top 20 stayed out. So all those that are on the leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screen stayed out here. Watchorn, Dyer, Daffin, Howell, Ledger, Hernandez. As we begin to double up, we are going green at the end of this lap after our first caution of the day for an incident that started between Josh Berry, Chris Phillips, and Mike Allen. "20 cars stayed out, and there's a good chunk of this field on fresh tires now. So this will be an interesting restart to see how quickly those drivers on fresher tires can move through the field." Watchorn pick the outside lane. Pace car will pull in. As we watch everyone go into the tri-oval across our finish line, we're underway once again. A little bit of contact further back, but everyone's still pointed in the right direction. Everyone settles out. First 7, single file. Daffin goes to the bottom here, wanting the challenge for that race lead. Top 5 once again on their own little island. Patrick Hernandez trying to hold station in that 5th spot behind Chris Howell. Then it's Josh Berry, one of 2 Canadian drivers in this field, the other being Reiner in the 80. The 8 Jaden Porter trying to battle for that 6th spot. Looks to the inside, almost flipped the grass. Bottom lane, great for tires. Top lane, great for defending. Berry tags the wall once more, 3rd time that 17's been in the wall, and they're going to go 3 wide behind. Weileman's in that little group. And they're going to go 3 wide again, and that's going to have Josh Berry sliding around. No caution called because everyone somehow saved it. How do you save it? No idea. But Josh Berry wheeling it like no other. Down in 26, but that could have been so much worse. Same with Weileman. Dropping a few spots there. Weileman could have ended up so much worse, but they didn't. Battle for the top 10 eating up. John Ledger in 8th. Kalen Height moving up to 9th. James Wurtzema, last week's race winner, up in 10th. The 2022 ABN National Champion, Christina Ryan, in 11th. Height and Ryan both started at the very tail end of this field. And Height passes Wurtzema, the current points leader, for that 10th spot. Watch on the 90 and the 199 Toyota Supras to keep moving through the field. That's what they do. A lot of experience in this car. Christina Ryan, 7 NASCAR college starts in this car. Kalen Height, a champion in the Court Cup Series. As Ryan and Ledger go side by side. Ryan on the bottom. Ledger up top. Wurtsma trying to follow suit. So Christina Ryan's gotten clear of Ledger, has moved to 9th, Kalen Height in 8th, Mike Allen in 7th, battling with the 60 of... Well, actually, Mike Allen is in the 60, battling with the 90 of Height. Riding on board with Kalen Height, well, with Mike Allen, excuse me, as Height goes by, now chasing down Patrick Hernandez. Kalen Height chasing down Hernandez. We'll pull up the battle box here in just a second. This is a battle for 6th place. You see all the cars in that battle. Hernandez, Height, Allen, Ryan, Wurtsma, Ledger, and Betts. And Height moves up to 6th place. Hernandez dropping back big time in the number 19 machine. Now battling to stay in the top 10 with Wurtsma. Merrick Watchorn still leads this race by 0.4 over Alec Daffin, Chris Howell, and Matt Dyer. Merrick Watchorn watched this championship last season slip away in favor of Jacob Elkins here at this very track. Jaden Porter sitting in 5th, Kalen Height up to 6th. Height making up ground very quickly. Christina Ryan in pursuit. Christina Ryan, 2022 Avian National Champion, 3 wins in the Champ Car World Series. 16 top 5s, 17 top 10s en route to that championship. One of the most consistent performances we've seen on Avian competition. Mike Allen, behind him is a gaggle of cars. The rookie trying to hold off Wurtsma and company. James Wurtsma, last week's race winner, current championship leader, trying to hold on to that top 10 for what it's worth. Kyle Smith. Moving up to the top 10. Brady Wildman in 11 trying to move through the field. His best finish 7th from last year. Ooh, contact, Kyle Smith. That was Smith and Doug Betts. Kyle Smith held on to it there, but that was not what he wanted to see. Kalen Height. Again, a lot of gap between Porter and Height here. Again, Kalen Height moved to the back of the field Had to get through cars, restarted outside the top 10, and avoided that spin, or that near spin with Josh Berry. So there's going to be a gap between the top 5 and Caitlin Height. It's all about maintaining that gap and chipping away at it. If we get a long green flag run, those that are saving tires right now, like Height, like Ryan, like Kyle Smith, they're going to start moving back forward towards the field. And that's what we're beginning to see. Merrick Watchorn in the lead of this race. Watchorn leads by about 0.6 of a lap, or 0.6 of a second, I should say. Chris Howell sitting in third behind Alec Daffin. Jaden Porter running in the 4th position. See, just back there in the background, that is the 90 of Caitlin Height. Caitlin Height in 6th, Christina Ryan in 7th, Brady Weileman in 8th, Kyle Smith in 9th, Doug Betts in 10th. Lap traffic slowly becoming a factor here. On lap 34 of 162, the more that this race drags on, the more spread out the field's going to be as everyone enters different strategy calls. Car is slowly going a lap down here. Lap traffic will thin this out a lot, and that's what we're seeing. This long race having some strategy elements in it. Tires were expected to kind of go, they start beginning to really fall off about 36 laps into a stint, and we're at that limit now. Fuel window was between 42 and 47 laps. A couple cars coming in now, they've reached the end of their tire life, they can't handle on. But those at the front of the field, their objective is to make it as far into the fuel run as possible. So that is the main primary objective, but with the tire wear as strong as it is here, you leave yourself very vulnerable to an undercut situation. Lap times have fallen off by 1.5 seconds. And the further down you go, the more impact that has. But consistently looking at the consistent top 8 here, it is 1.5 seconds, 1.75 seconds. between fresh tires and old tires where we're at right now. A couple cars seems to have missed pit lane on their first go around. Charlie Birch being one of them. Charlie Birch may be out of this race. Again, top 20 on the side of your screen right now. We've only had one caution in this race, and I know commentary curse, we're already 2 for 2 on it. But we're in a really good spot right now. As cars begin to come closer and closer to pit lane. Kyle Smith getting closer to Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan's fallen off of the rear of Caitlin Height. 199 now falling closer to the 55 of Kyle Smith. These two familiar with each other on the Gran Turismo days. Now crossing paths once again here on Friday night. Anthony Reiner in pit lane. Number 80 comes in. He'll go a lap down under pit lane. "23 cars on the lead lap as we firmly enter what we believe to be the start of the pit window. Looking a little bit further ahead, Caitlin Height has pulled a 5-second gap almost on. Well, sorry, there's a 5-second gap between Hal and Caitlin Height. So Hal's pulled away from Height, in about the similar manner that Height's pulled away from Christina Ryan. Merrick Watchorn, race leader. 11 career wins in the series. 2-time series champion. Oh, there's a spin. That's surely gotta be something. Believe that was I think I back and see who that was. That was the 72 of Chris Gore, and it is devolved in the chaos down the back straightaway. Dale Rapps had an issue. Josh Berry's in pit lane. Wurtsema might be coming down pit lane here soon. Front of the field, Merrick Watchorn. Cars all over the place. This is the kind of racing we were expecting. Patrick Hernandez in pit lane. Hernandez will fall down the order. We are firmly in the pit lane, or the first pit window. Watchorn pits. Howell will come in as well. Caitlin Height, does she come in? Most of the field coming down pit lane. Brennan Gregg stays out. Doug Betts stays out. Brad Slagle stays out, as does Wurtsema. See the damage on the 86. That is Doug Tuttle. Trying to get a lap back there. Wearing the colors of Overton Speed Shop in the number 86. Teammates with Mike Robinson, number 29, who I don't believe is present tonight. I have to double check on that. Porter's in pit lane. 15 of Casey Duncan staying out one more lap. Getting passed by the 9 of Jacob Elkins, which is slightly bent in the front end. Casey Duncan, the race leader. Matt Dyer in second place. A little bit loose out of turn 2. Duncan staying out once more. Pit on lap 12. This is important. Casey Duncan pit on lap 12. So this is not something completely brand new. Casey Duncan has to come in at some point. He's not cracked the code. He has to come in at some point here in the next 7 laps. Matt Dyer pit on lap 41. And has a lot of ground to make up. Still making up 4 seconds is the gap. Merrick Watchorn will re-inherit the lead here shortly, I believe. He's closing in on Dyer, as Dyer closes in on Duncan. We're on lap 51 of 162. We've had 1 caution in this race. As we look a bit further down the field, Christina Ryan down in 7th. That'll eventually be a top 5 position. Again, this is stock car racing in its purest form. There's no stage breaks here as they go 3-1 out of 2. They split the 86 of Tuttle. Tuttle trying to move out of the way. Maybe 86. A little bit squirrely there. But there's no stages here. It's just straightforward race to the checkered flag. There's 2 green-white checkers available if we need them. We used both of them last week at Daytona. As chaotic as this race has been, it's also been very clean. And that's a very important part of the process here, as Watchorn gets around Duncan, gets around Dyer, and on the track passes for the race lead. 91 back to the front. And is trying to set sail. Jack Stanley, 95, going a lap down. Wurtzema trying to become the first car a lap down. Right now he is. You see a lot of shuffling going on the leaderboard. Again, that's a visibility issue. That is not actual passes for position. Although there are some that are. We have so much going on here. 37 cars started this event, which is more than we were expecting. We have only 4 retirements in this race so far. Chris Gore, Charlie Birch, Jarrett Phillips, and James Lovejoy out of this race. And Dale Rapp has just joined them. So we still have 32 cars running. So it's going to be a little bit complicated here for a few laps. Until we get down to about 27, 28 cars. Looks like Chris Phillips really had a flat tire. Thomas Lane comes out of pit lane. Del Rapp still in pit lane taking repairs. 25, John Ledger was in the wall there. As the leaders go by, Brady Weileman, the first car a lap down. As we look a little bit further back, we can't deny this. Matt Dyer, Alec Daffin, Chris Howell. Ledger trying to make it back to pit lane. 27 to Chris Van Maastricht. Not on the lead lap at the moment. The series came to Atlanta twice. In 2022, Merrick Watchorn won the spring race last April. Alec Daffin won the finale that ended the season in October. And they're the ones at the front of this field. In the fall race, the finale last season, there were 6 cautions. In the spring race, there were 2 cautions. So, kind of give you some data so you can calculate all those trends if you want to. Top 4 on their own at the moment. It's Watchorn, Daffin, Dyer, and Howell. And then Jaden Porter in 5th. Kyle Smith's got ahead of Christina Ryan for the 6th spot. Looks like those two are battling pretty hard. They are. Kalen Height in this battle as well. Kalen Height, Mr. Pitbox on that pit stop, but has made it back to the rear bumper of that 199 and the 55 in tow. The second of 36 races en route to the 2023 Twiggy iRacing Series Championship. There is no win and you're in. There is a playoff system, but it's not win and you're in. It's the top 12 in points, I believe. To double check on that. Car in the wall. I'm not sure who that is. For those worried about the 91, Merrick Watchorn, he is out of sight. He is not out of this race. He's leading. But because of how far away and how many cars we still have on the track, it's only loading the 27 closest cars to where we have the camera pointed. Again, we had 37 cars start this race. And we still have 32 cars running, 33 cars total still in this race. Like right now, he's gone. He'll pop back in here. Yeah, this leaderboard is having a giant fit because of our visibility limitations. Can't focus on all 32 cars still on track. So it's having to pick and choose. Merrick Watchorn still leads the way. James Wurtsma trying to become the first car off the lead lap. Currently doing so, having to battle with Dennis Crosby and Brady Weileman. Wurtsma won the race last week at Daytona ahead of Dennis Crosby. Dennis Crosby had a chance to win it, got hip checked by the 25 of John Ledger, and ended up finishing in 7th. And now they battle to try to be the first car off the lead lap in case a caution does come out, which you can never rule out here at Atlanta. Spins are never out of question. It's been frantic, this race so far. 67 laps of 162 underway. All the top 4 having to deal with traffic as Wursema trying to battle for that lap back. Josh Berry going another lap down. It'll put Berry 3 laps down. So Watchorn leads this race, losing a little bit of time. Every lap car he has to deal with, it brings him a little bit closer to Daffin. Chris Howell sitting in 3rd, doing a good job. Then the 8 of Jaden Porter. And Matthew Dyer sitting in the number 7, sitting in the 5th spot. Kyle Smith on his own a little bit. About a second ahead of Christina Ryan. Caitlin Height sitting in 8th. Then you have Maurice Gamillion, the 44, in 9th. Brennan Gregg in 10th. Then it's Patrick Hernandez in 11th. Doug Betts in 12th. Then Jacob Elkins, who is getting passed by the race leader. The series champion gets a little loose in front of Wursema. Wursema checks up, has to check up with Weileman. And Wursema's just going to try to drive around the outside of Elkins. He'll do it. Well done, keeping it composed enough to kind of let it all settle down and just move on around. Great job by Wursema and Weileman. That is the 60 that they're coming up on now. Mike Allen, who's several laps down. And they'll get him out of the way pretty quickly here. But Wursema and Weileman battling to be the first car a lap down. Doug Betts, next one to go a lap down here. We had one caution on lap 10. It's been caution free since, and it will be if it stays continue as they are. Daffin and Kemp encountering traffic. Josh Berry had a bit of an off-track excursion on the front straightaway, but keeps the point in the right direction. 2 seconds between the top two, Watchorn and Daffin, the two drivers that won Atlanta last year. Watchorn currently leading the way on lap 73. Chris Howell and then number 88 sitting in 3rd. Jaden Porter, Kyle Smith, Christina Ryan in the top 6, and it's Height, Gamillion, and Gregg, with Hernandez sitting in 10th. 10 cars on the lead lap. This race has been flying by. Halfway point, lap 81. Chris Howell trying to navigate through some lap traffic. He's got Jaden Porter coming up right behind him in that number 8 machine. As sort of browse throughout the field. Merrick Watchorn, cool as a cucumber right now. It's a 33-second lap time for Watchorn. 33.79 last lap. This is what the last laps were for Watchorn, Daffin, and Howell. 33.7, 34.2, 34.0. Watchorn currently the fastest driver on the track at the moment. Daffin sitting in second. Howell sitting in third. Jaden Porter, this is the closest battle we have on track at the moment. See how bumpy this track is. Most of the field made their pit stops between laps 43 and lap 48. So we expect pit stops to begin about lap 88 to lap 92. Excuse me, 96. That is a battle with Dennis Crosby going a lap down to Jaden Porter here. They're in a battle there with Jacob Elkins. Oh, Elkins looser on the bottom. Jaden Porter trying to hold on to that third spot that he just took from Chris Howell. And, ooh, watch out, Jacob Elkins on the apron. The defending series champion, a handful of race car here. Stepping it around. We'll lose out to both Doug Betts, Dennis Crosby here, and the 86 of Doug Tuttle, who is not on the same lap. Did a really good job of saving it there, but it was not ideal for the number 9 machine. Caution's out. Caution's out for the second time. And I believe it is Matt Dyer. No, it's not Matt Dyer. So the caution's out for the second time tonight. There's a lot of cars that are going to have to come in. They're not going to be able to take that wave around like they want to. They're going to have to come down pit lane here and take their service. We were close enough to the pit window that it's going to happen. Unfortunately. Matt Dyer in pit lane at probably the worst possible time. Now pinned a lap down. He could get the lucky dog. He could get the wave around, but to start at the very tail of the field, which could be a bit rough. Matt Dyer does stay out, so he may get the wave around. But again, starting at the back of the field for 32 cars will not be a fun task. But that's going to be what he's going to have to face, as most of the lap down cars do come in, with exception of the 7 of Dyer. Actually, I think Logan McNeil also stayed out. Yeah, McNeil also stayed out, as did Casey Duncan. We are down to, I believe, 30 cars left in this race. Anthony Reiner and John Ledger out of this race. So several cars will get wave arounds here. McNeil pit on lap 47, so this is a bold call for the 12 machine. Casey Duncan pit on lap 61. He's off sequence. He can kind of afford this. And obviously Matt Dyer was in pit lane when the caution came out. Getting ready to go back to green for the second restart of this race. It's been a phenomenal race so far. We'll have 13 cars on the lead lap. Merrick Watchorn will lead the way ahead of Daffin, Howell, and Porter. Green flag back in the air. Watchorn leads the way. Side by side, Watchorn and Daffin. This is the closest Daffin's been in a very, very long time. Couldn't make anything happen there, but he's got a couple laps to try to make it happen before he has to fall in line. Porter in third, most of the cars on the bottom. Watchorn ripping it around the top. Christina Ryan up to fourth. Howe in fifth. Height in sixth. Kyle Smith seventh. Maurice Camillion in eighth. Brendan Gregg in ninth. Dyer in 10th. Then it's Hernandez, McNeil, and Duncan. Top 13 on the lead lap. Wurtzema, first car lap down. Top 5 in this group. Porter goes to the bottom in front of Ryan. Chris Howell goes in the middle 3 wide. Bold strategy, but it almost paid off. Christina Ryan staying on the bottom lane. Porter now stuck in the middle 3 wide and gets a little loose there in 3 and 4. Top 5 all under a blanket. Daffin now the cork in the bottle. And all 3 cars pick a different lane. Chris Howell looking for the race lead. Still middle 3 wide. Tried and true method of moving through the field. Just stick the middle. And it may just work. Ahead of Daffin. And Watchorn steals the draft line from Daffin. Daffin has to check up. Chris Howell goes to the lead of this race. We're looking at a lead change here on lap 91. Christina Ryan in this conversation as well. 4 cars in a blanket. Watchorn having to try to control 3 lanes of track space. And Chris Howell shown he will use every single lane. The 88 car has been moving. Watchorn stays up top. Daffin tries to go to the bottom. Chris Howell covers it off. Chris Howell pushing for the race lead. They go single file down the back straightaway. Christina Ryan goes back to the bottom here, staying on the bottom. That's what she's been doing all race long. Scotter from 34th to 4th, excuse me. Daffin beginning to fall backwards. Early part of this stint has not gone well for the 48. Christina Ryan looking for that 3rd spot. May just get it. Currently has it at a 2, but not clear. Drifts up the track. Watchorn moves to the bottom of Chris Howell. Chris Howell took the race lead. Watchorn is like, yeah, I don't think so. And they're going to be side by side. You cannot put a piece of air between them. Watchorn leads that lap. Howell is hustling the 91 of Watchorn. Daffin trying to block the 199 of Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan just saving tires, letting it come to her. But the top 2 pushing and shoving. It's phenomenal racing here in Atlanta. The home track for HTL and ARCS, and it's Twiggy that's putting on a show. The HTL and ARCS will come here to the NERV variant of the track later this year. Twiggy, the first of the series that we broadcast to come to Atlanta in 2023. And it's putting on a classic as to why so many people loved this version of the track. These two, Watchorn and Howell, been wearing each other out in this early stage. Watchorn has the race lead still. Howell gave it a valiant effort. Now, the big thing is that they pulled away from Daffin and Ryan, who have not been pushing as hard. Daffin sat in front of Christina Ryan for a few laps, both on the bottom lane. Christina stayed on the bottom the entire time. Daffin beginning to try to claw back some of that gap that was earned by Watchorn and Howell. Christina Ryan just biding her time at the moment, sitting in 4th, showing what the eNASCAR experience is. Jaden Porter down in 5th. Kaylin Height in 6th place now. Kyle Smith in 7th, and Maurice Gamillion, Brennan Gregg, and Matt Dyer top 10. Second half of this race starting off with a bang. Phenomenal ride so far. Kind of zooming out. Looking from outside the track here. Top 2 running the outside lane. Daffin and Ryan running the inside lane, excuse me. You see the gap between Ryan and Porter. Height trying to challenge for that 5th spot. Logan McNeil in pit lane. Must have had an issue in that number 12. Actually, no, the number 12 was off sequence. Stayed out for that wave around and it did not pay off. Howell's falling back towards these two, battling for 3rd place. Top 4 all within a second. Top 7 within 2 seconds. We have passed lap 100, 61 laps to go here in Atlanta. So a solid pit window. We still have to eclipse here. A late caution throws it all to the wind. Spring race was a lot shorter than this one, half the distance of this race. It had 2 cautions. And the championship decider last season, the finale, had 6. There's caution number 3. And I believe that is for... maybe for Josh Jernigan, who unfortunately we're not going to be able to see because he was not in our camera range. Looks like it was Chris Van Maastricht and Josh Jernigan. And for everyone tuning in, we appreciate you spending your Friday evening with us here on ABN. Under our 3rd caution of the night, you see some of the tire marks from earlier in the race. That was not involved with the last caution. For those tuning in tonight, we are broadcasting all weekend long. Tomorrow night, ARC Saturday Night Showdown action from Sonoma. And then we have the ARC's A-Squared Cup Series season from Fontana. So a wonderful weekend of racing ahead. Monday night, HTL Cup Series action comes to ABN's home, Kentucky Speedway, Monday night. Driver Center versus Screen, Christina Ryan will be in the booth with me for that race. Kevin Young joins me for the race on Sunday night in Fontana. Everyone checks up coming into pit lane. Christina Ryan, one of the earlier pit boxes. Make sure you don't overrun that pit stall. As leaders come down pit lane, really good view as to where everyone's pit box is at the front of the field here. Watchorn pulls out ahead of Daffin and the 88 of Howell. Christina Ryan comes out 4th. Hernandez taking some repairs. It looks like the number 19 still on pit lane. You see that's front and center on your screen. And he'll start rolling now. Casey Duncan kind of gets bailed out by that. Had to come down pit lane in the next few laps. Now he stays on the lead lap. Important decisions to make for Wurtsema, Bajent, Bawada, and company. Do they come down pit lane this time, or do they risk it like what Duncan did? They will not risk it here. They will come down pit lane. They will stay the course. I believe the 12 stayed out. Logan McNeil. Yeah, Logan McNeil stayed out. Doug Tuttle and Josh Berry all stayed out. Both of these drivers are, all three of these drivers are 2 laps down. So they're trying to stay, they're trying to earn one of the 3 laps back here. They were 3 down prior to this caution. Car's getting the wave around here. It'll put Watchorn outside lane. He chose to be on the outside lane there as the race leader. Coming to 55 laps to go in this race. Still 1 full pit cycle left in this race. Still a lot to play for. Watchorn looking for his 12th win in Twinkie competition. The field runs to the green flag, back in the air after the 3rd caution of the race. Christina Ryan, first time she's not been able to get to the bottom immediately. She'll clear Chris Howell. So Howell will stop down to 4th ahead of Jaden Porter. Kalen Height in the 6th position, Kyle Smith in 7th. Top 2 outside lane. Ryan goes inside lane. Howell sticks it right in the middle. As did Jaden Porter. Caitlin Height sitting in 6th. Christina Ryan in 3rd. Bookending Chris Howell and Jaden Porter. Matt Dyer trying to get that 6th spot. On that outside lane will do so. Caitlin Height's not going to fight him on that one. Caitlin Height trying to save tires. It's what they've done all race. Battle for 2nd place beginning to brew up once again between Daffin and Ryan. Outside lane is quicker for a period of time, but it will burn the tires up a lot quicker. That's why Christina's been avoiding it so much. Everyone kind of knows that, though. You can't stay up there for too awful long. They move back to the middle. The more you spend time up there, the worse it gets, and eventually it will be damage done. Daffin goes to the bottom ahead of Ryan. Howell in the middle, trying to pick up some spots and some time. He's not afraid of throwing it middle 3 wide. Is he given the opportunity to here? He is not given the opportunity to. Daffin holds the middle line. Dyer trying to move forward quickly in the number 7 machine. And currently he is doing so. Around the heels of Howell. 3 wide, now middle 3 is Daffin. It's so hard to consistently challenge for that lead against Watchorn. Watchorn, very experienced here at Atlanta. Doing a phenomenal job. Daffin sitting middle. Once again, Dyer moving up to 4th. Christina Ryan will drop down to 5th. But she's kind of just hanging on here as she saves tire. Still 1 pit stop to go. Christina Ryan's not going to get caught up in this battle. Top 5 on this conversation. Merrick Watchorn continues to lead the way, has led the most laps of this race. Guaranteed bonus points for that. But it's the last ones that count. Howell back to the leading the inside lane. Slots in between Watchorn and Daffin. Daffin, not a fan. Dyer falls back to 5th. Ryan back to 4th. Daffin sitting still in 3rd. Again, this is a marathon. 250 miles here at Atlanta. You can argue is more physical than 250 miles at Daytona. It is a very demanding track. 1.5 miles. Very bumpy. You're constantly working the wheel. It is a very physical track. 3 hours ago, Christina Ryan was not in this event. Was not planning on being in this event. So to not only get ready for this event in less than 3 hours, but also take it on and move up 30 spots in this field. It's impressive. Matt Dyer in pit lane. He comes in early. Technically, the window is open. The window is open for that last pit stop. Matt Dyer's taking it early. Interesting strategy call for the number 7 machine. Both Ryan and Height. Height, who had an aggravated shoulder Wednesday night for Hyperformula. There's Matt Dyer going a lap down. Christina Ryan, this time next week, will be in Las Vegas. Getting ready for the Screen to Speed live competition. She's showing why she's going to Las Vegas. Right here. 4th place. Ryan sitting in fourth. Merrick Watchorn beginning to try to walk away again. Chris Howell continues to pressure him, though, in the 88 machine. Battle for the lead once more. Every time Howell tries to make a move on that inside line, every time Merrick Watchorn has just enough of an advantage to hold it off going down the back straightaway. Matt Dyer almost gave up that free pass position that he's got right now. Fresh tires, but not like that. Separated Christina Ryan and Alec Daffin for a moment. Dyer has the fresher tires, trying to get through this field. For the sake of Bajan and Elkins, they're hoping that Dyer gets back on the lead lap before something crazy happens. And there's the caution. Sorry, gang. Didn't mean to say it out loud like that, but apparently I say it and it happens. And it is for Patrick Hernandez. And, oh, more than just Patrick Hernandez. Very wounded, number 19 car. Front row starter in this race. His race has gone from bad to way, way worse. With less than 40 laps to go. We're not sure if we're going to have... Oh, a little bit of a contact there going through the corner. He tried drifting through it. That's the 052 of Brad Slagle. And we lose contact with him here, unfortunately. But that is how most of the accident started, and that's John Buwalda that was also involved. So Hernandez in trouble. The field comes in. So Matt Dyer, lucky dog. See the cars coming out of pit lane there. Eric Watchorn coming out of pit lane here. Watchorn leads the way under our fourth caution of the night for a spin involving Patrick Hernandez that also collected John Bualda Jr. Watchorn, Howell, Daffin, top three. Christina Ryan in fourth. Jaden Porter in fifth. Caitlin Height in sixth. Brennan Gregg in seventh. Gamillion in eighth. Duncan Knight, Kyle Smith in 10th. Weileman, Dyer. Dyer, the lucky dog, will start at the tail end of this field. Chris Phillips will get the late wave around here, as will Logan McNeil and Doug Tuttle. Very, very important. Callie Bajan will be the first car lap down here. 15 cars on the lead lap. Alrighty, it's Watchorn and Howell. Front row, this is the closest Howell's been to challenging for the race lead on a restart. If he's gonna get it done, it's in these opening laps after this restart. Green flag back in the air. We're underway once again from Atlanta. Watchorn had an amazing restart, though. He knew what he had to do. Chris Howell, not even safe from Christina Ryan, who goes 3 wide for second. And makes it happen. Christina Ryan up to P2. Trouble in the back. Ryan back to the bottom. What a power play by Christina Ryan. 3 wide on the outside to make it happen. Daffin couldn't do anything about it. Howell couldn't do anything about it. Christina Ryan now up to second. It is showtime here in Atlanta. Christina Ryan now has to defend, though, from Chris Howell. Chris Howell's been one of the more aggressive move makers in the top 5 all race long in the number 88 machine. Watchorn stays high. Ryan goes low. Ryan sends it to the bottom. Not going to hold on to the race lead, but makes it look really good. Pinches, pinches, pinches. Stays alongside, going into 3 and 4. Watchorn can't do much about it. Watchorn's going to hold on to it here, but gave up the outside lane. And Howell thought about it. Christina Ryan fighting for her life right now. She wants it. Saw the performance she put on High Performance on Wednesday at Spa. Putting the Prismatic Motorsports machine second on the grid in qualifying, and one of the best qualifying laps we've seen her put on. And now, what a performance here in the race. Again, a race she wasn't planning on doing less than 3 hours ago. Phenomenal job so far in that 199. Less than 3 hours ago, she was doing ARCA practice at Daytona. Howell gets around for second place, but Christina Ryan now firmly in this fight. Coming to 28 laps to go. Merrick Watchorn looking for his 12th career win in the series. by and far the winningest driver in the series. Watchorn leads over Hal over Ryan. Hal thought about going to the middle, couldn't make it stick in the middle. Christina Ryan goes to the bottom, makes it stick on the bottom. And Daffin's been left out for dry a little bit. 3/10 the gap between Ryan and Daffin. Daffin needs to claw that back in. Hot battle at the front of the field. Biggest mover is Christina Ryan, up 31 spots in this race. Caitlin Height, second most, 29 spots. Brennan Gregg, 27 spots. Those are your biggest movers. Biggest loss, John Ledger, up, down 27 spots out of this race. Garrett Phillips down 26 spots out of this race. And then Patrick Hernandez, who had that incident there that caused the fourth caution of this race, down 24. All still to play for here in Atlanta. Jacob Elkins, the first car a lap down. For those wondering about the free pass position, it would go to the number 9 car, who's a lap down. Ahead of Callie Bajan and James Wurtsema. Top 3 a lap down. 15th, 16th, 17th for those 3 respectively. These 3 hanging it out at the front of the field. Watchorn, Hal, and Ryan. They are putting on a show. Welcome to Friday nights. If you haven't seen the last couple of weeks of action we've done for Twiggy iRacing Series competition, this is what it's about. Watchorn to the top, Howell to the bottom. A little bit of lane steal and a little bit of slideways action there for Ryan in the 199. You can't let it get too into your head here, because you are trying to save tires as well. You're thinking about the last 10 laps as much as you're thinking about right now. Watchorn has the advantage. As Hal and Ryan battle, it's let Watchorn get away a little bit here. Watchorn no longer under the serious threat that he was at the beginning of this run. It's put Daffin back in the mix, as well as Caitlin Height and Jaden Porter. 6 cars within a second and a half. Really, it's 6 cars in a second. Jaden Porter's in 6. He is 7/10 behind Watchorn. That's how close this battle is. And the pressure is on the 88 of Hal to try to make something happen here. He's been the consistent challenger to Watchorn the entire second half of this race. Caitlin Height's come to play. 2-time Court Cup Series champion. Won a championship in this car. She's sitting at number 90 right now. Watching the battle go on between Ryan and Daffin. Daffin on the bottom. Christina Ryan did not want to be up top, but does not have a choice now. Oh, almost 3 wide. Christina Ryan should have I would say should have an advantage there a little bit, but really just doesn't. Daffin can't get it to the bottom either. Daffin was trying to get it to the bottom. Caitlin Height gave him a really well-timed push to open that bottom up, but couldn't get there. As battle for third stays side by side between Ryan and Daffin. Height moving out of the way, realizing that she was just losing time to Daffin. But she's opened up the door to Jaden Porter, 2 by 2, battle for third, battle for fifth. And they've let Howell go by. Howell has gone after Watchorn. Less than 20 laps to go. Jaden Porter tried to send it there on the bottom. Daffin closed the door. Christina Ryan's not giving as much space as we saw earlier. Elbows are coming out a little bit. Christina Ryan finding her bearings on that outside lane, has been used to the inside lane most of this race. And Caitlin Height in pursuit in the number 90. Daffin losing to Christina Ryan here, might lose to Caitlin Height. Again, this is the battle for third. Christina Ryan currently has it. Daffin, Height, and Porter won it. And Height's going to take it and clear it. And Daffin's going to go to the high lane. Everyone else went to the bottom. Ooh, that was really close there by Daffin, trying to split the middle between Ryan and Height. Daffin trying so hard for that third spot. Porter's just trying to kind of wait and see what happens. If a mistake slips between any of these three, center of your screen, Porter can pick it up. Porter went down to the apron, I think got loose out of two, gave up a little bit of time. But here he goes, trying to move back forward. Alec Daffin still battling here for third place. Top two separated by a second. Merrick Watchorn, this is his to lose now with 14 to go. But this battle for third is intense. All the intensity is in that battle for third. Kyle Smith in seventh, hanging it out there in front of Brendan Craig. Really good move there by Kyle Smith holding on to it, but will lose that spot going into three. Still side by side, Christina Ryan and Alec Daffin. This has been the main battle we've been looking at. And it's so hard to look away at the other battles going on because there are several going on. But this is the one that is the most volatile. This is about the time we do A and B in side by side, but the person that I do side by side with is in this battle. 2 by 2. Height and Ryan outside lane. Daffin and Porter inside lane. Daffin had third at the line there. Daffin moving around a little bit. Eventually, Jaden Porter might fill that hole, and Daffin's not going to be able to do much about it other than spin. Daffin sending it into the inside every single time, trying to make the most of the track position he's got at the moment. He's got a decent run out of 4. He just doesn't have anything out of 2. Doesn't have any gas of it out of 2. Ryan had that position at the line there. Coming to 11 laps to go. Ryan got clear this time. But Daffin's going to have a better drive off. Ryan got a little bit loose. Porter got a little bit loose. Daffin got third out of it. Daffin clear for third. Porter looking for fourth. The outside lane beginning to give way is what we were thinking. And Daffin goes right back to the high lane. Goes too high, I think. 3 wide for third. Jaden Porter to third place. He bid his time. He waited. Patience is a virtue. And oh, by the way, the 18 of Brendan Gregg and the 55 of Kyle Smith, they're in the party too. Welcome to the show. 9 to go. This is Twiggy iRacing Series competition at its finest. Cars coming down for pit stops. They were wave around cars. Now down once again off the lead lap. They knew they had a pit stop to make. They were hoping for a quick caution. They didn't get it. Daffin back to third. Jaden Porter following suit. They're in fourth place. Caitlin Height in fifth. Christina Ryan down in sixth place, losing a spot to Brendan Gregg. Christina Ryan has used too much of her tires. A valiant effort battling with Alec Daffin and Jaden Porter. But it may have come to bite her. Merrick Watchorn 2.2 ahead of Chris Howell. But the battle that we've been watching has been for the third position. Alec Daffin has it. Jaden Porter wants it. 7 laps to go. Oh, tag in the wall by Height. Two laps to go here at Atlanta. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go. Merrick Watchorn looking for race win number 12. He just has to make it one more lap, and he's got it. Chris Howell sitting in second, doing everything that he can. Then this battle for third has fallen out of Daffin's favor. Thanks to lap traffic. Brennan Gregg's going to take the final step of the podium. Merrick Watchorn out of turn 4. He wins at Atlanta. Chris Howell will take second. And Brennan Gregg on the podium, third place. Alec Daffin takes fourth. Caitlin Height, top 5 on debut. Kyle Smith beats Jaden Porter. Mariska Million in 8th. Christina Ryan held on to 9th place. Brady Weileman finishing with another top 10. What a race. Merrick Watchorn, now a 12-time Twiggy iRacing Series race winner. A phenomenal drive by Merrick Watchorn. For everyone new to Friday night action here on ABN, welcome to Twiggy. This is what it's about. "12 career victories for the lead man at Watchorn Motorsports." That team has the defending champion. All 3 champions in this series history. Merrick Watchorn regretted not being able to take the championship at Atlanta at the end of last season. Exercises that demon by winning here tonight. And he's going to burn it down. Phenomenal job by Merrick. Phenomenal race by Chris Howell, Brennan Gregg, Caitlin Height, Kyle Smith, Jalen Porter, Christina Ryan, Mariska Million. Phenomenal action. Merrick Watchorn, a race winner. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Very few things as triumphant as that. And he's going to continue to roll here. We will talk to him here in just a second. He's going to roll back to his pit box here at the very front. From pole position to the race win, he wanted this one, and he got it. Phenomenal effort. Just a phenomenal drive. We'll talk to our race leader here in just a race winner here in just a second.
You go into one.
Merrick, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
What a race. Take a bow, first of all, for your 12th career win in the Twiggy iRacing Series. It's the race that slipped away back in October, where your teammate Jacob Elkins got the championship. You exercised the demon by winning, leading the most laps, and dominant victory here tonight. First of all, how are you feeling? That was a bit of an endurance.
My heart was racing those last 20 laps. It felt like I was doing another 100 in those last 20 because I'm just like, please no caution, please no caution, please no caution. But man, oh man, oh man, I'm just trying to collect myself right now. Like you said, just of how this race got taken from me back at the end of the championship last year, and just to lose it by, unfortunate events. It's a wonderful feeling to come back and dominate again at one of my favorite tracks of all time. I love Atlanta so much, and it's one of my favorite tracks to go to. But this is actually my 16th win, as on our first season we had kind of a mess up, but we rebranded to what the series is now. So we actually have 16 races under our belt right now.
Even more impressive, obviously, you look at Daytona last week and just how wild Daytona was. It was wild for the greatest reason. If we talked off camera, like this race, it was going to go one of two ways. How did this race go compared to what you were expecting? And obviously, you look at how much of a driver's track this is. You look at Phoenix next week. How pumped are you to go into short oval racing and just kind of throw that back into the ringer?
My biggest concern with Phoenix is I'm just really going to be trying to collect as much data as I can going into thinking about the championship at this point, because that's going to be our final race of the season. So more or less, if I don't win next week, I'm not going to cry about it because that's all the data I can collect moving forward. But it's just a nice feeling to just come into the second race and just dominate the way I did. I had some hard chargers coming after me. I had Christina coming for me. I had Chris coming for me. I had Alec coming for me at one point. I mean, I had like 8 or 5 cars just chasing my ass down, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit in this corner and hope I make it out of it.
One of the best races we've ever put on ABN Broadcasting. It was a wild time. 37 cars tonight. An extremely large field, only 4 cautions, which is less than what we saw in October, where we had 6 cautions. Just phenomenal effort tonight, all the way around, top to bottom here in Twiggy. Y'all did a phenomenal job tonight. Before I let you go and let you kind of debrief and relax, if there's anyone I want to shout out and say thank you to, Merrick, the floor is yours. Congrats on an emphatic race win here in Atlanta.
Yeah, I just want to thank y'all from the ABN. You guys are awesome. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for coming on board with us and like showing the love that Twiggy is really capable of doing. Like, as you said, we showed you a fantastic race. 37 cars. It's our biggest field ever in the Twiggy iRacing series. So we really outdid ourselves this time around. Last week it was 31. Now it's 37. I'm so excited for the season. We did a lot of recruiting. So I want to thank all of our drivers coming in and being patient with each other, giving each other the respect and, the driver awareness, being around each other and knowing when to push and when not to push. The track was hot. It was really loose. Those tires were falling off quickly. I just want to thank the Twiggy, the Watcher Innovation Group Incorporated, Quantum Security Alliance, and Capture the Occasion. Really good group of friends. And, man, oh man, I'm just happy I got my win under my belt, setting the tone for the season. Hopefully we can win a couple more and come and join you and talk to you some more there, Carmen.
Absolutely. I think with how this season is starting off, it's going to be one for the record books for sure. And obviously the number 9 car, 91, has been, it obviously won the Clash, winning here in Atlanta. Drivers Tracks, that number 91 should be at the front of the field. Can't wait for it. Obviously Phoenix next week. Can't wait to see you there. Merrick, enjoy this race win. Take some time to relax. This one was an endurance. You've earned it. Congratulations. Race winner at Atlanta tonight. Congrats.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was Merrick, our race winner here tonight. We're going to talk to a couple more drivers here. We're going to talk to Chris Howell, second place, get his perspective here tonight on his second place finish. A phenomenal result for him. Give us just a second. Chris, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How are you, Carmen?
I am doing just fine. You might have deserved a little bit of a break tonight, given how this race went. What a show. What a performance. Driver's Track here. Obviously, you started third, finished second. Challenge for the race lead a lot there. Kind of just walk us through how you went on that race, because it was a show tonight, but you came out with a podium finish, a phenomenal result.
Yeah, the first run after the first caution there, it went green for a while, and I just pushed the car really hard on the first run to see what it could take, and I mean I burned it up pretty bad. So and then fortunate enough, a caution came out and gathered us all back up. But I knew from that point, I knew how hard I could push from the beginning of the run, and when to dial back the pace. And I know I was putting some pressure on Merrick there a couple times, but to be honest with you, I just didn't have anything for him. He's just super fast, got that high line figured out. I started to figure it out a little bit, so maybe if we had some more time, I might be able to get up there. But yeah, it was fun. It was a blast. I know first through fifth was battling for a position all night. So yeah, it was really fun.
Obviously, this season starting off hot. 31 cars last week, 37 cars tonight. Biggest field in series history, as Merrick mentioned earlier. You look at Phoenix next week, one of the premier short ovals in stock car racing. How do you get ready for that after the chaos and insanity that was here at Atlanta? How do you get ready to step it up a notch and try to go for that race win again at Phoenix?
Well, to be honest with you, I do not have a lot of experience in this Xfinity car. I was just looking for a top 5 tonight to bounce back from the Daytona last week. But in the Cup car, I'm pretty good at Phoenix, so hopefully it translates to this car. And Phoenix is always fun. It's a fun little short track. It's got some odd characteristics to it, but it's a fun one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know we'll probably get some practice in this week, and I'll try to put it to Merrick again this race too at Phoenix.
It was a lot of fun watching you wheel and deal that number 88 car. You had a lot of fun, a lot of screen time for the 88 car. That all the battling that you had tonight was incredible to watch. If there's anyone I want to shout out and say thank you to before we let you go and relax and just unwind from an insane race, the floor is yours, Chris. Take it away. Congratulations on the P2 tonight.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I tell you what, I worked really hard for that second. I feel like I was working out for like 2 hours, but yeah, I just want to thank the sponsors on the car. 1111 Veteran Project. They work with veterans and help small businesses that are owned by veterans, and they help them get started up. And I want to thank Racing for Heroes as well as on the car, and my teammate John Ledger. We're both a part of Average Joe Motorsports, so be looking for us all year. Hopefully we contend for this team championship. And of course, I want to thank the admins of the league, and they're doing a pretty good job at running this league. I'm having fun here, and also want to thank you, Carmen, for the awesome broadcast. And yeah, just keep it up. Let's go.
I appreciate it. Obviously, the energy is contagious tonight, and what a thrilling race we had tonight here in Atlanta. Chris, enjoy the second place finish. We can't wait to see what you bring at Phoenix next week. Enjoy it, relax, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, I'm not letting Merrick get all the wins this year.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
That was Chris Howell, second place finisher here tonight. Obviously, a lot of positive energy here tonight. Phenomenal race. The best race we've had at Atlanta ever, by and far, but just phenomenal racing top to bottom. Just can't say that enough. It was so much fun tonight. But yeah, we'll talk to one more person tonight. It's the most popular driver in 2022 on ABN programming. There's no one else we could talk to. We're going to talk to Christina Ryan, who had a whale of a time battling for that third spot. Finished ninth, unfortunately, but a phenomenal effort for that 199 on debut in Twiggy.
But
Christina, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. What's up, bud?
First time we've been able to do this in a while. Ninth place finisher tonight. 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago now, you weren't even thinking about doing this race. You jump in last second. You, Caitlin Height, Judith Cooper, you all jump in and just go for it. And you go for the fence. Battling for third there with Hal, with Greg, with Daffin, with Height, with Kyle Smith. Obviously, that last lap battle there with Maurice Gilmillian was insane. Walk us through that race. Obviously, this car means a lot to you. Your eNASCAR college experience here. Just walk us through how this race meant tonight and just how much fun you were having tonight, just as a one-off before you go to Vegas.
Yeah, I know. Babe, let me tell you, I knew coming into this deal that I knew as soon as I didn't get the number 80 and I got set with the 199, I knew I had to go big or go home, right? Oh my God. I mean, what an opportunity, you know? We get to come in here. Merrick lets us in last second. Didn't want to qualify. I didn't want to get caught up in stuff. Seems like every time we come to Atlanta and I qualify, I get in a wreck. So I went flying through the grass trying to avoid stuff. I kept it clean for the most part. Did a couple jumps here and there. Those battles, that last restart, I had such a run. I had to go for it. I knew I wasn't thinking about tires. I knew it was going to bite me. I knew I was going to fall out eventually, but I'm not here for points. I'm not here for anything other than to kick some ass and have some fun. And we did it. So I think I lived up to the 199 today.
It was a crazy race all the way through. Obviously, the battle you had, obviously, with Alec Daffin, with Caitlin Height, who was in your mirror, either it was in your mirror or was in front of you all race long. Just being able to hang out with friends, obviously, before going to Vegas and having a lot of fun with Screen to Speed over the next week. Just walking through, like, Atlanta is such a driver's track, and this car means so much to you. Kind of just being able to kind of rehash it here and being able to do this in as competitive and as clean of a race as it was. We haven't seen 7-8 cars battle like that in a while. How refreshing was that coming, you look at the next gen car, you look at the trucks and how those races typically go. How much more refreshing was it to just come back here and kind of relive that?
Yeah, it was fucking, oh Jesus. Sorry. It was good. I'm excited. It was really fun. I had so much fun. I think it went green for at least over half the. We only had like 2 or 3 cautions. It was incredible, and I oh my god, it was so much fun. I mean, these guys and girls I was out here racing with. Obviously, I've raced with Kyle for a couple years in Gran Turismo. It was great to race with him again. We were wheel to wheel for a bit. Racing with Katie's always a blast, and racing with Hal and Daffin and Watchhorn. All those guys up there. I mean, everybody in the top 10. It was absolutely phenomenal. They gave me so much respect out there, and we raced really clean, but we raced really clean, but really hard, So it was a blast. I really appreciate everything that happened. The fact they let us in and everything was awesome. So, yeah.
A phenomenal drive tonight. Obviously, 9th place. You at one point you were battling for that 3rd spot. You were up 33, 34 spots, and you were in that battle with Brennan Gregg and Caitlin Height. We're also in the same strategy, the same game plan. Saving tires meant so much, and you were still able to wheel it out. Obviously, you'll be in Las Vegas this time next week, so you're not going to be at Phoenix. But obviously, looking at this series, your foot's in the door. Now you can kind of just come in as you please. How frequently are you going to be here, I guess, is what some of our fans are going to probably want to know. Obviously, sporadic appearances, but also, if there's anyone else you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Christina. Just all around phenomenal effort here tonight.
Yeah, is my mic work still working? I think I might have had an issue or something, but
I believe everything's fine on my end.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back now. Okay, yeah. I don't know what happened. I got so excited, I broke my damn mic off. But it's gonna be great. I mean, obviously, just kind of getting in all the racing I can before I go to Vegas. I'm kind of riding on cloud 9 right now. If every race is gonna be like this, I'll be back for sure. I just don't know when. Obviously, it helps a lot that I'm not in any points battle. I'm not coming in trying to go for championships or anything. I'm just trying to rip it with the boys and the girls. And I don't know. I don't know how often I'll be racing, but I hope this isn't my last race here because, oh my god, that was so much fun. I had a blast. Obviously, big shout out to everybody who came out and supported me. Thanks to everybody who watched. I had Ohei basically as a spotter, which was really fun. Race with Judith, and it's always a fun time racing with her. And obviously with Kate, we go way, way, way back. So, oh my god, I don't even know what to say. I hope I made Travis proud. Somebody go at him on Twitter or something. Maybe he'd be proud of that. I was in the air at one point, still finished top 10. So, that was the most fun I've had in a really, really long time, Carmen. It was friggin' awesome.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it here tonight. It was a lot of fun here, Christina. Obviously, is there anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to? The floor is yours. Other than that, phenomenal drive tonight. 9th place finish for you after starting 34th on the grid. Take a bow. Take a bow. Sorry, I'm just so excited. I love this kind of racing. Big shout out, obviously, to Merrick and everybody else who puts this together to let me come in on such short notice. I know
I know my name has a little bit of weight apparently, so I'm told, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to go with it. I like that they let me in here on such a short notice. I hope I didn't make anybody mad. I don't think so. I had a blast. I had so much fun. Everybody in the top 10, absolute joys to race with. So much fun, so much respect. Felt like I could put that car anywhere, and everybody just raced me really, really well. It's been a long time since we had that many people running that well. Yeah, no, again, thanks to everybody who came out. Thanks to Priz for the support. Thanks to my boyfriend who was watching. I know he was. So feel better, babe. Love you. But yeah, no, everybody who came out and watched, this is so much fun. And obviously thanks to you for putting it on. Hopefully we gave you a good show up there tonight. And yeah, big shout out to everybody out there. Big shout out to Travis and the Jason Leffler car too. So it was a little bit of a double tribute. So yeah, I had a blast.
A phenomenal drive here, Christina. Again, take about 9th place after starting 34th, having to drive through the field. Congratulations. I know we will see. I'll see you on Monday night for HTL action in Kentucky. And if we don't see it at some point between now and then, good luck in Vegas. Go kill it.
Thanks, babes. Love you.
That was Christina Ryan, our 9th place finisher here tonight. We didn't get a chance to talk to Brennan Gregg. We'll see if we can kind of snag him for an interview next week at Phoenix. But we're going to run through the full order here. This is what it's going to look like. The Hampton 250 from the Twiggy iRacing Series, race 2 at 36 in the books. Merrick Watchorn, race win number 16 here in the series ahead of Christopher Howell and Brennan Gregg. Top 3 here. Brennan Gregg, first podium for Ascent Racing in the number 18 machine. Eli Sasek not present tonight, but Ascent Racing still earning some major points in the championship standings. Alec Daffin finishing 4th ahead of Caitlin Height. Kyle Smith in 7th ahead of Jaden Porter. Maurice Gamillion and Christina Ryan in 9th place. Brady Weileman finishing 10th for Summit Esports. Casey Duncan in 11th. Then it's Matthew Dyer, Jacob Elkins, Callie Bajan finished 14th. A phenomenal effort for her, rebounding from being crashed out early at Daytona last week. Dennis Crosby in 15th. Our Daytona race winner, James Wurtsema, finishing in 16th. Wheeling it off there, constantly battling, got stuck a lap down early, but never went more than one lap down. Congratulations to Wurtsema on that effort here tonight. Doug Tuttle, 17th place out of John Buwalda. Again, 37 cars took the field, and we only had 4 cautions, a lot of green flag laps. Congratulations to all the drivers for holding it in, because this is a hard track to master. Looking a little bit further down the order here, we'll look a bit further down. 19th, Chris Phillips. Josh Berry in 20th. Logan McNeil in 21st. Then Brad Slagle in 22nd. Jack Stanley, 23rd, ahead of Judith Cooper on debut for Prismatic Motorsports. Doug Betts in 25th. Patrick Hernandez in 26th, ahead of Chris Van Maastricht and Joshua Jernigan, who rounded out 28th. Hernandez, Van Maastricht, and Jernigan out of this race. They did not make it to the finish. Neither did anyone at the very end of this table. Mike Allen, Thomas Lane Jr. rounded out the top 30. Anthony Reiner, John Ledger, Dale Rapp, Chris Gore, Charlie Birch, Jared Phillips, and James Lovejoy rounded out the field of 37 cars. Largest field in Twiggy iRacing Series history is what we saw tonight, and the racing that we saw was legendary. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we go live again for the ARC Saturday Night Showdown Series at Sonoma. Road course racing and trucks. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of wheel hopping, a lot of sliding around. That's what we love to see on Saturday night. Sunday night, ARC's A-Square Cup Series action from Fontana. And then we head home for the HTL Cup Series, the ABN Bluegrass 200 from Kentucky Speedway. That's the next 3 days of action here on ABN. For those that enjoy this, again, Twiggy Discord link in the Twitch chat if you're live, and it'll be in the description down below if you're watching this on demand on YouTube. But for everyone, on behalf of the Twiggy iRacing Series, on behalf of everyone here at ABN, I'm Carmen Hardy. Thank you all so much for tuning in on a wonderful Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend if we don't see you before Monday, but if we do, we'll see you next time. So long from Atlanta.